Now, if you're not familiar with the new X5s, M or otherwise, a quick spotter's guide includes very much a softer look down the sides of the car, a very busy, angular, aggressive face on our M car, of course. M's also get these functional scoops down on each lower chin corner, as well as a set of functional blade exits right behind the front wheels. And the badging is a dead giveaway as well. Now, an X5 M isn't just a performance car, it's a profit car and a status car. And this one's beautifully turned out. I mean, look at this kind of chainmail dash trim here and on the doors. And we've got this power tilt-up acoustic dispersion thing on the dash, part of an almost $4,000 Bang & Olufsen audio upgrade. And of course, M-style sports seats. But let's get down to the technology. We've seen the iDrive head unit before. It's wide and big and bold. It looks like it moves up and down. It doesn't. It's not touch, of course, it's German. Nothing too new on the controller. Turn, kick, click, and writing and pinch and zoom touchpad on top of the knob. Two of my favorite features, though, include the connected drive menu, which has the BMW Online to go do relatively freeform online search, basically for things you want to nav to. The downside is dog slow 3G. The other nice touch I do want to call out here is how they do satellite radio. You can change the way it lists the channels by either channel name or by artist name. That's a much smarter way to look at channels than by their name. But enough of the infotainment, which we've seen before. Let's get to the drive controls that mean so much when you've got an M car. Put it simply, there are more ways to set up this powertrain than there are to leave your lover. I counted at least 60. We start here with a very different shifter. This is an M-style shifter, has no park position. You can tell immediately you're in an M car. And below that, you've got three profiles for what they call drive logic. This is the aggression and how hard it holds the various RPM points on the gearbox. Over to the left, that little speedometer looking thing, that's your power delivery, how aggressive it ramps up power delivery under the pedal. Below that, you've got your suspension settings. Again, 3 levels also. We have air suspension in this vehicle, also an active anti-roll technology. And below that, that tells what nature of steering assist you've got from the pure electric steering rack aid. If you're going in a straight line, by the way, there's no assist at all to keep the energy losses low. It only dives in when you move the wheel. And all of these different settings can be muxed together and saved under 2 macros you see there on the steering wheel, M1 and M2. Now, the other big basket of driving tech is under this one button here. These are your driver assist technologies, which they call intelligent safety. Frontal collision warning technology, and it also aids braking to have collision mitigation. Pedestrian warning, where the vehicle's going to see pedestrians in front of you and give you warning. Lane departure warning is exactly that. It's a warning with a stick shaker on the wheel if you're drifting out of your lane, and you get some indicators in the dash, but the vehicle doesn't bring you back in by itself. And finally, what they call active blind spot detection, which isn't really active. Again, it doesn't bring you back from a collision, it just warns you of a collision. Now, up here under the schnoz of our X5M, it's a 4.4-liter V8. Kind of quaint, but very modern with its fully adjustable valve train that BMW is famous for. Direct injection, of course. And the turbos, you could almost call it a quad turbo setup because they have dual twin scroll turbos, one on each bank. 567 horse, that's up 3% from last year, and 553 pound-feet of torque, that's up 10%. 0 to 60, even though it weighs 5,200 pounds, is a flat 4 seconds. That's getting up and going. Your MPG is where you do pay the piper a bit, $14.19. I would imagine if this wasn't an exempt truck-style SUV, it would have a gas guzzler tax, but it doesn't. And these X5Ms are all 8-speed automatics, not dual clutch, but a straight-up fluid-based torque converter automatic, and they're all-wheel drive.
Underway, one word, hard. The seats are kind of like church pews, and the suspension is unforgiving as Mother Superior, regardless of mode. So much so that the X5M actually rattles on iffy pavement, in spite of its rear air suspension and active dampers. The power comes on nice and hard too, and it's easy to modulate. That's high praise for a turbo nestled inside a big vehicle. The only exception is when you're cruising in top gear and need something right now. Then it takes a moment to unbundle the overdrives. At no point did I wish this car had a manual or dual clutch, by the way. All-wheel drive is biased toward the rear, but it can do 100% there or to the front, and can split torque across the rear axle to turn the car in, not just point it.
Now, X5s have always been premium SUVs, and once you go M, you're really premium. That's why we're talking $100,000 to start. Then you gotta add 3 things to go CNET style, and I think skip 2 others. Driver Assist Plus is less than $2 grand for a whole slew of driver assist technologies that I think are a good value. The executive package makes me grit my teeth. It's $4,500, and I only want about half of what it brings, like the HUD, the active LED headlights. I could live without the ventilated seats and heated rears, but that's the package. The joy of driving this thing does not include parking it, so spend the paltry $5 on Parking Assist to handle the steering. I'll skip the B&O for $3,700. I bet the bass Harman Kardon sounds really good. And I'm not sold on night vision cameras yet in general, and when they're way over in the center stack, I'm really not. All in, we're pushing 107 grand the way I would do it, and that's nowhere near fully loaded. The X5 M is a specialized vehicle, and you've got to be comfortable with this idea of a largish SUV that is also a track machine. I don't know that it makes a lot of sense, but if you want it, you want it, and this does it exceptionally well. If you're not convinced of the concept, there are plenty of other very capable 5s that don't have the M on them.